Good morning, boys and girls. Greetings from the illustrious Bakersfield, where I am today. But never fear, you get this wonderful video for working today while I'm gone. Adora should be able to help in second period with anything that you get stuck on. And by the time third period comes in, all the computer issues should be ironed out, and you guys should be good to go. Remember, help each other out. Everyone's assignment's different because you all have different birth dates anyways. So I have no problems at all with you guys helping each other out. If you need to team up because there aren't enough computers that are working right, that's fine too. I would rather you use as many computers as possible so people are doing their own. But if you need to work in pairs, that's okay. So, and if you go to open up the software and it doesn't work, Adora has instructions on how to make sure that it's the license is put in on all the computers and they're all working. So if we need to have Adora do that, then we can do that too. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to do is open up Multisim. My computer will look a little bit different than yours, but I'm sure that you guys can find the program on yours to open it up. It'll pop up with a screen that says there's so many days left on the license, or if it doesn't, if it says it needs to be activated or it's expired or whatever, that's when you're going to have Adora help. But just click on OK and open it up. This is further than second period got yesterday, but third period was at least able to open the program and get started. So once you get that opened up, there's a file that you will need to get started. So open up your web browser. Go to tinyurl.com/DDE switchbox, and it will take you to a download page through Google. You might have to log into Google in order to download it, but as long as everyone has their student account, should be able to do that. So you'll click on download for that. Once that downloads, you'll want to open up, click on the little thing where my mouse is pointing now and go show in folder. Take that file and then move it to your desktop. So I'm just going to cut it and then paste it onto my desktop so that I can find it easier later on when I need to open it up. So then I'm going to close that. And then I don't need my web browser anymore. Close that. Then you can go to your Multisim, and then you can just open that up. Go File, Open, and then look on your desktop where you put it. Should be something that looks about like this, for Switchbox. Double click on that, and then you can see what you should have in there. Should be a file that looks like this. This is the breadboard companion that everybody made and uses. And we're going to use that in this. If you look at your keys, I'm pushing on key 1 and it turns that switch on and off. Key 2 does the other switch, key 3, and key 4. So that's that file. You can make sure that it opens up and that the keys switch and that works right. Okay, once you've made sure that you've got that file and it's working right, you can actually close it again. Make sure you don't close Multisim altogether, that you just close that file. And now we're going to make a different kind of file where we're going to embed that. So we're going to do that by clicking on File, and then, whoop, I lied. We're going to click on Place, and then Hierarchical Block from File, and then go pick the file that we saved, highlight it, click Open, and then you're going to go put it somewhere near the top corner of your box like that. Now this switch box has 4 switches. We're only going to use 3 of these 4 switches, but it's easier to just make it with all 4 so we have it for later projects, so that's why we did that. So put that in, and then you can click on switch 3. That's going to be the first part that we work on, and we're going to just make a little line about like so, and then double click it to finish that line, and then we're going to put in a chip that we need. So if you go click on this icon up here that says TTL, it'll bring up all the different kinds of gates that we might use. So we need an inverter gate. That is this in the list. It's 7404N. We need that inverter gate so that we can make the NOTs, the NOT gates. So go ahead and pick 7404N and then click OK, and then A. And so we're gonna just drop it and then hit cancel. And then we can close that for now. Now once we've got that, we're going to want to rotate that so it's facing down. I did that by hitting Control R. And then we're going to set this up so that it's right next to our other one right there. So click on the end of that and come attach it and to the first one, and then we're going to make that line come down and end right about next to the first line. So what we've just done is we've created the X on switch 3, or you can make it a Z. It really doesn't matter which one's which as long as you're consistent, and then the not X. And then we're going to make switch 2 is going to be our Y. And so we'll bring that one down next to the others, double click, and then we're going to add the gate again. So click on TTL, hit OK, and then I'm going to put it, when it comes up, what this is doing, see how it's got the A, B, C, D, E, F? What that is that's, you're using the different spots on the same chip. So see where A is grayed out? We're going to just leave that grayed out, but we're going to use that B on that same one. What that means is we're using the same chip. And when we're wiring this a little bit later, that'll make a little bit more sense. But just click on the B for now. Again, you can drop it wherever. You can actually click on C right now too if you want to, because we're going to need 3 of these. And then you can hit cancel on that, and you can close that box. Highlight that first one. Control R will rotate it so it's facing the direction that you want. Bring it over so it's right next to the line that you just made, and then hook it to that second switch, and then bring it down again next to the others, double click it to end it. So now we've got the first 2 switches. We'll do the third. And this, so for the way I'm going to do it, this is going to be my Z gate. I like to make X the furthest one out, but again, the main key there is just that you're consistent with it. So bring this last one over and attach it. And double click that. Alright, so now we're ready to go with our equations and start hooking things up. So you've made your equations on your worksheet. So we want to now start figuring out, okay, well, how would we draw that on here to wire it? So I'm going to open up Word. You won't need to do this. I'm just going to do it so that you can see an example on my screen. So if I had an equation of, say, A equals, I don't want that to be uppercase, A equals X, Y plus Y, Z, not plus X not YZ. So that's going to be the first equation that I do to give you guys an example. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. So when I refer back to that, you guys will be able to see that. So I'll do that. So this first part, X, Y, it's together. That means that I need an AND gate, and you guys saw that in your drawings. So I'm going to come click on this TTL again. And AND gates are 7408N. So I'm going to go click on that number now and click OK. I'm going to click on the A. I'm going to drop an AND gate for that. Now I can tell by looking at this that I'm going to need an AND gate for the XY. I'm going to need an AND gate for the YZ naught. And I'm going to need 2 AND gates for the X naught YZ. And you'll see that in a second. But I'm going to need a total of 4 AND gates. So I'm going to just drop them all in now, just so that they're there. So I got 1, 2, and then I'm picking them off the same chip. 3 and 4. So those are all of the AND gates that I'm going to need. Then if I go back to this again, I see 2 pluses, so I'm going to need 2 OR gates. So the OR gates are 7432. So you can scroll down to 7432N. Those are my OR gates. Click OK. I'm going to need 2 of those, so click on A for the first one. These are the ones that have the curved backs. And put that one right there. And I'm going to need another one, so I'm going to put that one about right there and hit cancel. Then I can close that. That should be all the gates that I need. So the first part of my equation, I hooked to XY. So remember on mine I said I'm going to make this far line all the way over here the X line, and then that second switch is going to be the Y line for me. So I just hooked that to X and Y, and then the second set is YZ naught. So I'm going to go from here to Y, and then Z, I need the naught, so that's going to be the line that has the inverter on it. So this is going to be Z naught. Then when you have 3 of them, like this X naught YZ on the end of my equation, that's where you got to use 2 gates together. So X naught YZ. So I'm going to actually move this one over here a little bit, and what you do to get 3 is you actually just hook these 2 together, and now I can go X naught, so that's this first naught row, Y is this second one here, and then I got one left here to go to Z. So I got my X naught YZ hooked up. Then I just plug it into my OR gates. Hook those ones in, hook those ones in, hook this OR gate to that OR gate, hook this into it, and I'm good to go. So I've got one output left, and that one output is what I'm going to be hooking to the 7-segment display. And I got a little thing up here that looks like a 7-segment display, and if I hover over it, it says place indicator. I'm going to click on that. And then if I go over to where it says hex display, you've got all these different kinds of displays in here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And we're looking for the one that says 7-segment, and then COM A would mean common anode, COM K would be common cathode, and we want a common cathode. So I'm going to go with that. If you want to change the colors, I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. Blue, green, red, whatever. I'm going to just do red for now. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to drop that just right here for now. And go ahead and close that box. So I'm going to hook this into A because this was my A equation, and I'm now done with A. I do need to ground this common cathode display, so I'm going to come over here to the far side where it says place source, and then you've got a host of different things that are in here. We need to put ground